Level 0. It doesn't start with murder. It starts with a leaf, a berry, a mistake. Before science, before war, poison was a whisper in the wild. It grew on riverbanks and climbed garden walls. Deadly nightshade with purple flowers and ink-dark fruit. Hemlock that looks like parsley. Rosary peas, tiny, scarlet, and lethal with a single seed. The first poisons weren't brewed in cauldrons or hidden in rings. They were simply tasted, accidentally, fatally, a curious child, a hungry traveler, a desperate mother, and the earth didn't warn them. Toxins evolved as nature's defense system to protect plants from insects, fungi, and herbivores, but they were never meant to distinguish predator from man. The same alkaloids that paralyze a grazing goat can drop a grown man to his knees. Ricin, found in castor beans, destroys your ability to make proteins. One crushed seed is enough. Aconitine from monkshood binds to sodium channels and leaves you gasping with a frozen heart. And these existed before chemistry had a name, before antidotes had a chance, before we knew what death looked like on the inside. Level 0 is not assassination, it's ignorance. A reminder that the most ancient poisons weren't weapons, they were accidents. Level 1. There's a reason the ancients feared women with herbs, because poison was power. Socrates drank hemlock, not as a last resort, but as a sentence. The active compound, coneine, paralyzes the body from the legs upward while the mind stays alert. He would have felt his lungs stop, one breath at a time. This was the classical era's preferred tool for subtlety. Belladonna dilated pupils and poisoned lovers. Strychnine, derived from seeds, caused violent convulsions and was once used to kill foxes and rivals. Arsenic became the crown jewel of Renaissance poisoners. Colorless, odorless, soluble. It was called inheritance powder for a reason. Heirs had everything to gain from dusting in a goblet. In 15th century Italy, the Borgia family turned poisoning into high art. Historians believe they used arsenic-laced wine to clear political paths. In 17th century France, the affair of the poisons implicated nobles, priests, even royal mistresses in a labyrinth of toxic plots. Love potions were sold beside murder kits. These weren't just accidents or warfare, they were whispers in court corridors, meals turned into minefields, cups into coffins. And unlike blades, poison left no blood, just silence, just grief. This was the era when poison wasn't nature's mistake. It was humanity's intention. Level 2. It's in the pipes, in the paint, in your bones. Heavy metal poisoning doesn't announce itself with screaming. It erodes you, cell by cell, nerve by nerve, thought by thought. Lead once flowed through Roman aqueducts and lined makeup kits. It tasted sweet. It preserved wine. It also poisoned generations. Chronic exposure led to miscarriages, brain damage, and possibly even the empire's decline. Mercury was used in hats and medicine. It vaporized into air and slid across floors like molten silver. Exposure causes erethism, a trembling madness, paranoia, and memory loss. Hatters weren't just eccentric, they were toxic. Arsenic again played double roles, medicine and murder. It disrupts ATP production, killing cells by starving them of energy. But the scariest part? These metals don't rot. They bioaccumulate. Once they enter your body, they can stay for years. In your liver, kidneys, teeth. Lead still affects over 800 million people today, primarily in developing nations where old plumbing and industrial waste persist. Children exposed to even trace amounts show lower IQs, increased aggression, and developmental delays. Heavy metal poisoning isn't history, it's now, and it's still silently shaping intelligence, violence, and longevity across the world. Level 3. You're awake, you're aware, and you can't move. Neurotoxins don't shout, they whisper between neurons. They cut the line between brain and muscle, leaving you frozen inside your own body. Tetrodotoxin, from pufferfish, blocks sodium channels with surgical precision. One improperly prepared bite, and your lips go numb. Then your fingers. Then your lungs. Saxitoxin, found in shellfish during red tide blooms, does the same. It has no taste, no smell. But it halts the transmission of every electrical signal your nerves try to send. Botulinum toxin, produced by Clostridium botulinum, is the deadliest substance known to science. Just 2 nanograms per kilogram is enough to kill a human. It doesn't attack, it seduces, relaxing muscles until breathing stops. Ironically, it's also used to treat wrinkles, migraines, and muscle spasms. Botox is botulism in a suit and tie. The same substance that can erase a wrinkle can erase your breath. The only difference is dose and intent. These poisons don't blister skin or rot tissue. They keep everything intact while shutting you down from the inside. Neurotoxins kill through stillness. Perfectly quiet. Perfectly cruel. Level 4. It strikes with purpose. It's not a defense, it's a weapon. Venom is injected through fangs, stingers, barbs. It's designed not just to kill, but to incapacitate, digest, and feed. Vipers use hemotoxins to rupture blood vessels. Victims bleed internally, organs liquefy, and limbs swell with necrotic tissue. Cobras unleash neurotoxins that shut down respiration. Cone snails fire harpoon-like teeth loaded with conotoxins, delivering paralysis in seconds. A single snail can kill a human in under 10 minutes. Each venom is tailored, evolved over millions of years for specific prey, specific environments, specific outcomes. Some digest from the outside in, some coagulate blood until it clots mid-flow. Yet within these biochemical nightmares lies medicine. Snake venom is being studied for its ability to dissolve blood clots, lower blood pressure, and stop seizures. Scorpion venom may hold the key to tracking down brain tumors. Even cone snail venom is being trialed for chronic pain relief stronger than morphine, without addiction. What nature built to kill, science is repurposing to heal. Venom is a reminder, not all poisons come to destroy. Some arrive with a scalpel, some with a cure. Level 5. You don't need to be bitten, you just need to live near the wrong factory. This is poison scaled up. Industrial toxins, invisible, inescapable, and often legal. Methyl isocyanate leaked from a Union Carbide plant in Bhopal, India in 1984. Thousands died in hours. Over 500,000 were exposed. The air turned into acid. Eyes burned. Lungs filled with foam. Infants suffocated in their sleep. Polonium-210, a radioactive element, was slipped into tea in 2006 and used to assassinate former KGB agent Alexander Litvinenko. A single microgram caused liver failure, hair loss, and internal burns. It took 3 weeks to kill him and left a radioactive trail across London. Organophosphates, used in agriculture, interfere with acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme that breaks down signals between nerves and muscles. They're absorbed through skin, breathed in with air. Farmers collapse midfield. Children stop breathing without ever tasting it. Polonium-210 emits alpha radiation, lethal in micrograms, undetectable without specialized equipment. A perfect poison in the age of espionage. Even pesticides like paraquat, still used in parts of the world, cause catastrophic lung damage if even a few drops are ingested. These aren't ancient potions or forest berries. They're modern, mass-produced, and monetized. Industrial poisons are the kind you don't even know you're breathing until it's too late. Level 6. This isn't passive. This is engineered death, synthesized for speed, precision, and panic. Chemical weapons aren't extracted from roots or brewed in cauldrons. They're designed in war rooms, labs, and political crises to disable populations, not just people. Sarin gas was first synthesized in 1938 by German chemists looking for pesticides. It paralyzes muscles by inhibiting acetylcholinesterase, the same enzyme organophosphates target, but 1,000 times more efficiently. It was used in 1995 when cultists released it into the Tokyo subway system. The gas killed 13 people and injured over 6,000, and it evaporated before responders could react. VX, another nerve agent, is so potent that a single drop on the skin can be lethal. It sticks to surfaces, seeps through gloves, and kills within minutes. In 2017, VX was used to assassinate Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korea's leader, in broad daylight, in an airport. Mustard gas, used in World War I, didn't just choke lungs, it caused blisters, blindness, and long-term cancers. Survivors described coughing up pieces of their lungs. The Geneva Protocol banned chemical weapons in 1925, but they're still used in Syria, in Iraq, in private assassinations masked as accidents. Chemical poisons don't just kill, they humiliate, they terrorize. And worst of all, they linger in soil, in air, in memory. Level 7. You don't need a virus, you just need a seed. Biological toxins aren't alive, they can't replicate, they don't mutate, but they are among the most potent poisons on Earth. Ricin, derived from castor beans, works by disabling ribosomes, the part of the cell responsible for protein synthesis. Without proteins, the body's machinery shuts down, cell by cell, organ by organ. It was famously used in 1978 to assassinate Georgy Markov, a Bulgarian dissident. A tiny pellet, fired from an umbrella tip on a London bridge, released a dose smaller than a grain of salt. He died in agony within 3 days. Abrin from rosary peas is even more toxic than ricin. A single chewed seed can kill a child. And in South America, the golden poison dart frog doesn't need to bite. Its skin is laced with batrachotoxin, which keeps sodium channels permanently open, overloading nerves until the heart seizes. These poisons aren't meant for us. They evolved to defend against insects, predators, competition. But in human hands, they become silent weapons, easily masked, undetectable in autopsies, effective in micrograms. 1 gram of pure ricin could kill over 80,000 people if evenly distributed. And yet, castor beans grow worldwide, legally. Biological poisons aren't contagious, but they're infinitely precise and terrifyingly accessible. Level 8. You don't need an assassin, you just need a bad can. Foodborne poisons aren't always malicious. Sometimes they're the result of rot, mold, or bad preservation. And they don't kill with drama, they kill with diarrhea, seizures, organ collapse. Clostridium botulinum, the bacterium that produces botulinum toxin, thrives in anaerobic environments like canned vegetables or improperly sealed meats. It causes flaccid paralysis, drooping eyelids, respiratory arrest. Infant botulism can come from something as innocent as honey. Aflatoxins, produced by Aspergillus mold, grow on peanuts, corn, and grains in warm, humid environments. They're odorless, tasteless, but among the most carcinogenic substances on Earth. Chronic exposure causes liver cancer. Acute exposure can kill in days. Tetramine, found in improperly prepared seafood like certain types of goby fish, leads to neurotoxicity and convulsions. And then there's histamine poisoning, scombroid, caused by spoiled tuna. It feels like an allergic reaction, flushing, nausea, burning mouth. But it's not an allergy, it's decay, rebranded. An estimated 25% of global food crops are contaminated with mycotoxins like aflatoxin, mostly in developing nations without regulated storage. Foodborne toxins remind us sometimes the deadliest poisons are just dinner gone wrong. Level 9. The most trusted killers don't come from nature, they come from pharmacies. Pharmaceutical poisons hide behind prescription pads. They're legal, effective, controlled, until they're not. Fentanyl is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Just 2 milligrams, the weight of a few grains of salt, can stop a heart. Originally synthesized to treat pain, it has become a leading cause of death among young adults, largely due to illegal analogs laced into street drugs. Thalidomide, prescribed in the 1950s for morning sickness, caused over 10,000 birth defects before it was pulled. Babies were born without arms, without legs. The lesson? Even healing agents have shadows. Digoxin, derived from foxglove, treats heart failure. But in slightly higher doses, it can cause nausea, confusion, and fatal arrhythmias. And acetaminophen, your everyday painkiller, is the most common cause of acute liver failure in the Western world when overdosed. In the US alone, over 70,000 opioid deaths occur every year, many from synthetic versions that mimic medications. The line between cure and poison isn't always drawn in blood. Sometimes it's drawn in dosage. Sometimes it's erased completely. Level 10. Precision isn't science fiction anymore. It's synthetic biology. Designer poisons don't rely on trial and error. They're built, molecule by molecule, in a lab, tailored to genes, activated by enzymes, hidden in nanoparticles, delivered like a smart drug, but with no cure. With CRISPR, researchers can now edit viruses or toxins to target specific cells or tissues. What if a poison could be programmed to only activate in people with a certain genetic marker? What if it could be delayed or triggered remotely? In 2019, researchers built a synthetic version of horsepox virus from scratch. It wasn't a poison, but it was a proof of concept, a pathogen made not in nature, but by code. And then there's AI. It's already being used to design drugs faster than ever. But what happens when that speed is misused, when models are flipped to optimize lethality, not healing? The assassin of tomorrow may not need a weapon, just a sequence and a delivery system. The future of poison may be invisible, untraceable, and tailored specifically for you. Level 11. What if the poison was the world? Environmental toxins don't need to be weaponized. They already exist, and we walk through them every day. Benzene, a known carcinogen, leaks from fuel and plastics. Phthalates in packaging disrupt hormones. Microplastics have been found in human blood, placentas, even the brain. Perfluorinated compounds, PFAS, or forever chemicals, exist in cookware, raincoats, fast food wrappers. They don't degrade. They accumulate in organs. They're linked to cancer, immune dysfunction, infertility, and these aren't rare. They're everywhere. In 2021, the CDC found PFAS in 97% of Americans tested. In 2023, microplastic particles were found embedded in human arteries. There's no single dose, no clear symptom, but over time, the world itself becomes the vector. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink. Environmental poisoning doesn't kill like a dart. It kills like rust, slowly but relentlessly. The most dangerous poisons don't always come in vials. Sometimes they come with every breath. Level 12. You don't feel it in your bloodstream. You feel it in your thoughts. Cognitive toxins, memes, lies, psychological manipulation don't kill the body. They kill belief, trust, sanity. Weaponized misinformation can radicalize, gaslight, push people into suicide, violence, or mass hysteria. Troll farms and state-sponsored disinformation campaigns aren't just annoying. They're designed to destabilize governments, fracture communities, and incite war. Some poisons live in your bloodstream, others hijack your attention span, your dopamine cycles, your sense of reality, and the worst part? You might not even notice. In 2016, a fake news article reached more people on Facebook than the New York Times' actual election coverage. Minds were manipulated at scale. This level doesn't require a lab, just a screen and a click. Don't just survive the next poison, understand it first. Stick around. See you in the next video. Let me know in the comments below about what you want next.